What's up you guys, I'm Dan, this is Frugal Not Cheap, and in today's video we'll look at an upgrade or change that I did to my Digital Nomad travel PC. So some time back I put together a pretty lengthy video talking about how to upgrade a computer yourself. It's actually really easy to build a computer, especially using a site like PC Part Picker. You can pick all the different parts and make sure that they're going to be compatible together, and then it's really not all that complicated to fit it together. And you can often get some savings, not all the time, but especially if you're looking to do something that's not really run-of-the-mill, something that you might find on the shelf, then it can be a good way to go. And in my case, what I wanted to do was to have a computer system that was relatively portable. So the idea is to have, not a gigantic full-size tower, something a little bit smaller that could fit maybe in a carry-on or a suitcase. And then along with that, I was going to get one of those portable monitors. They have now some 4K or 1440p portable monitors that have a relatively decent screen size that are not too expensive. So I'll buy one of those when I'm actually going to do the whole digital nomad thing. But for now, while I'm here, I can use my beautiful monitor. But anyway, recently I've been playing a new game called Total War Warhammer 3. And either because it's finally putting a little bit of tax on my GPU, which is an RTX 2070 EVGA Black, or because the game is just really poorly optimized, which really I think is what it is, because no other game has been causing this issue. But my whole computer has been really overheating when playing this game, and I don't think those kind of thermals are good for it over the long run. So it just got me thinking, look, I already had to I actually had to cut it apart a little bit in order to install liquid cooling, and it's already pretty janky. I figured really the most elegant solution would just be to get a slightly larger case where we can put more case fans in and have better airflow. And so that's what I did. So we'll see today how that's going to work, how it fits in terms of a suitcase or a carry-on, and we'll go from there. Hopefully I'll be happy with this upgrade. So here's the Node 202. You can see it's a very compact case, and it can be either put vertical or horizontal. You can see the problem is there's just no way to fit the fan nor the radiator for the new liquid cooling that I got for it. So I ended up having to actually cut some holes in it in order to make that work. So it is really quite small, and it does fit within a carry-on suitcase. This suitcase you can carry on to most planes, maybe not some of the really small planes. They'll ask you to do a gate check-in, but it is a standard carry-on size. So that's the Node 202, and what we're going to be replacing that with is right here. This is the Thermaltake Core G3. And you can see that the dimensions aren't really all that different, especially if I put this one sort of on its side here. We can get a better idea. So certainly it is bigger in every direction, but the big thing is sort of its, I guess you'd call it its width. So whereas the Node 202 is very slim, this one's much wider, but that also means we're going to be able to do much better cooling and have much better thermals. Now, unlike the Node 202, the Thermaltake Core G3 will not fit into a carry-on, but it will fit in my full-size travel suitcase here, with a little bit of clearance left at the top, maybe for that monitor, if I can package it up with a lot of padding to protect it, we'll see. Not room for much else in this suitcase, but maybe some bits and bobs here on both sides. But generally that's going to be the main thing that's going in there. Hey guys, so as you can see, I got the new computer set up. Well, the computer set up in the new case. And it's a great case. This G3 case is relatively thin, so it's not taking up a whole lot of desk space sort of in this direction. It's relatively tall, but as we saw, it does fit in a suitcase. Which is pretty cool if I wanted to take it somewhere. But the more I got to thinking about it, as good as this is, and definitely it was a good idea to get it now, because thermally it's a whole lot better for the components than the Node 202 was. I can see it's definitely performing better. It's still, when I really think about what this would be like if I were, in fire and traveling from country to country, potentially having to do visa runs, though hopefully not. But either way, not really having as much of a home base. I was trying to think about what that would be like, and You know, before, when the computer and the portable monitor, mouse and keyboard, all that, would fit into carry-on, and then I'd have, you know, a check-in suitcase to carry all the rest of my stuff, it didn't really seem all that bad. And then you can have a personal item on top of that. But now that this would take up the main suitcase, I'd be left only with the personal item and with the carry-on. That's just, I think, just too little. Now, of course, you could check in internationally. You can check in 2 check bags. So that opens up a lot more room. But then I've got two check-in bags, then the carry-on and perhaps a personal item as well to kind of shuffle around with me. And I think that's just getting way too cumbersome, right? Then we've got way too much stuff. So as cool as this is, I think my new plan for my sort of fire setup is probably going to be just to bite the bullet and you know, get less performance but much better portability by, of course, getting a gaming laptop. So I've looked at different ones. There's really the ones that get really good reviews tend to be ones by Asus. So they've got this Zephyrus G15, that's a 15-inch laptop that's really, really well rated. But I'm not sure that I really want that much portability. I'd like something that's a little bit of a better desktop replacement and that might offer some better cooling and also a bigger screen. You know, when you're going from 14 to 15 to 16 inches, these differences are pretty noticeable, I think, especially if you want to be working at a higher resolution, which I do. I really have a hard time with 1080p screens. They drive me kind of batty, so I prefer at least a Quad HD or 1440p. And so for that, we're looking at a 17-inch screen, something like the Asus Zephyrus S17. So that's currently what I'm looking at. Depending on how you spec them out, they can be anywhere from $1,500 to over $3,000. A lot of that, of course, right now is with the chip shortage, right? GPU prices, those are the graphics cards, those are very high, and then also even CPU prices are a bit high. Really all computer stuff is just a little bit expensive right now, and that is easing to some degree, but you know, I don't need to, thankfully, buy this computer anytime soon. This is something that I'm going to get, you know, at the time that I fire, you know, just beforehand, so I'll be keeping you posted about that in the future. For now, really happy with this Thermaltake G3. It's just, I mean, it's nice and clean, cable management a little difficult. I'm going to try to do maybe a little bit better with that, but I'm not the best with that. But the thermals look to be good. I've got, you know, the cooling radiator here, another additional fan blowing out, and then I'm bringing in air from up here, which seems kind of weird, but the AC actually kind of comes down from up there, and so it'll flow right into the GPU, and then there'll be some cool air coming in over here, and then the hot air exhausting out the front actually. So yeah, pretty happy with it for the moment, but I'll keep you posted on my plans for the future. If you did like today's video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.